In a small, peaceful village nestled deep within a valley, surrounded by rolling hills and dense, lush forests, there lived a young man named Lucas. The village, with its cobblestone streets and quaint cottages, was a place where time seemed to slow down, and the rhythm of life was dictated by the rising and setting of the sun. The air was always fresh, carrying the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the earthy aroma of the surrounding woods. Lucas was known throughout the village, not for his strength or skill, but for his relentless chatter. He was a tall, slender young man with a quick smile and a voice that never seemed to rest. From the moment he woke up to the time he laid his head down at night, Lucas's voice could be heard echoing through the village. He had an opinion on everything, be it the weather, the crops, or the latest village gossip. His words flowed like a river, sometimes amusing, sometimes informative, but often unnecessary. He would greet the baker with tales of his dreams, share his thoughts on the state of the world with the blacksmith, and offer unsolicited advice to the shepherds as they guided their flocks through the fields. While the villagers were fond of Lucas and often smiled at his enthusiasm, they couldn't help but wish he would learn to embrace silence. There were moments when they yearned for a bit of peace, a break from the constant stream of words that flowed from Lucas's mouth. They hoped that one day he might realize the value of quiet reflection, the power of listening, and the wisdom that comes from stillness. One sunny morning, as the first rays of dawn painted the sky in stunning shades of orange and pink, the village awoke to an unusual sight. A stranger had arrived, walking quietly along the dirt road that led into the heart of the village. The man was tall and slender, with a calm, serene expression on his face. He wore simple, humble robes, and his presence seemed to exude an air of tranquility that contrasted sharply with the lively energy of the village. His eyes, deep and wise, held a twinkle as if he carried within him a secret known only to the most enlightened. This stranger was Master Toao, a man whose reputation for wisdom and peacefulness had spread far beyond the village. Word of his arrival spread quickly, carried from mouth to mouth like a gentle breeze. Farmers paused in their fields, shopkeepers stepped out from behind their counters, and children, usually so absorbed in their games, abandoned their play to see the new arrival. The village square, usually quiet at this early hour, soon filled with curious villagers eager to catch a glimpse of the man whose presence seemed to promise something extraordinary. Master Toao stood in the center of the village square, his presence calm and composed. He was dressed in simple, earth-toned robes that flowed gracefully around him, reflecting the humble life he led. Despite his unassuming appearance, there was something about him that captivated the villagers. Perhaps it was the gentle smile that played on his lips, or the way his eyes sparkled with a deep inner peace. Whatever it was, the villagers, both young and old, felt drawn to him, as if an invisible force was urging them to listen closely to what this wise man had to say. The square fell silent as the villagers gathered around, forming a circle of eager faces. Even the children, usually so restless, stood quietly, their eyes wide with curiosity. Lucas, too, found himself mesmerized by Master Toa's presence, his usual urge to speak replaced by a quiet anticipation. With a calm and soothing voice that seemed to resonate with the very air around him, Master Toao began to speak. "Dear villagers," he said, his words carrying a weight that was felt by everyone present. "I have come to share with you a profound truth, the incredible power of silence." His voice was gentle, yet it commanded attention. Each word was deliberate, spoken with a clarity that pierced through the usual noise of daily life. In our noisy world, where distractions are many and our minds are constantly bombarded, it is in moments of silence that we can truly connect with our inner selves. Master Toao continued, "In silence, we find solace. It is not merely the absence of sound, but the presence of something much deeper, something that can only be felt when we allow ourselves to be still." As he spoke, the villagers felt as though a soft, soothing blanket of serenity was being wrapped around them. The hustle and bustle of the world seemed to fade away, leaving only the sound of Master Toa's voice and the profound truth it carried. "Silence," he said, pausing to let the word sink in, "is a teacher. Its lessons are not always easy to grasp, but they are among the most valuable we can learn. It teaches us to listen to the world around us, to others, and most importantly, to ourselves." Master Toa's words resonated deeply with the villagers, who found themselves reflecting on their own lives and the constant noise that filled their days. For Lucas, the message hit especially hard. He had always believed that filling the silence with words was a sign of vitality and engagement. But now, for the first time, he was beginning to see that perhaps there was more to be gained from the quiet. As Master Toa's voice gently filled the space, the villagers felt as if they were being transported to a place of deep inner peace. The usual worries and thoughts that cluttered their minds seemed to dissipate, replaced by a calm awareness of the present moment. It was as if, for the first time, they were truly listening not just to Master Toa, but to themselves, to the quiet whisperings of their own hearts. In that serene moment, the villagers realized that they were in the presence of someone who understood life on a deeper level, someone who could guide them toward a wisdom they had never before considered. Master Toa's words were not just heard, they were felt, resonating within each person as a gentle reminder of the power of silence and the profound lessons it held. While the villagers were captivated by Master Toa's wisdom, Lucas found himself struggling to embrace the idea of silence. For him, silence was a foreign concept, as unnatural as asking a hummingbird to stop flapping its wings. His words were his way of expressing himself, connecting with others, and filling the space around him. The idea of remaining quiet felt almost suffocating. As Master Toa spoke about the virtues of stillness, Lucas fidgeted, his mind racing with thoughts he longed to voice. The more he tried to focus, the more restless he became, and his constant urge to talk made it difficult for those around him to fully absorb Master Toa's teachings. Noticing Lucas's struggle, Master Toa decided to offer him personalized guidance. He saw potential in the young man, a deep well of understanding that had yet to be tapped. With a gentle smile, he approached Lucas after the gathering, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "Lucas," he said kindly, "I see that you find silence challenging, but within you lies the ability to discover its true power. Allow me to help you on this journey." Lucas, though apprehensive, was drawn to Master Toa's calm demeanor and agreed to follow his guidance. Over the following days, the two spent countless hours together, sitting quietly under the shade of a grand old tree at the edge of the village. The tree, with its thick, twisted trunk and branches that reached out like welcoming arms, provided the perfect setting for meditation and reflection. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting dappled shadows on the ground, while the gentle rustling of the foliage created a soothing backdrop to their sessions. At first, Lucas found the silence unbearable. His thoughts raced, his mind wandered, and his mouth ached to speak. But Master Toao remained patient, guiding him through the discomfort with quiet encouragement. "Listen, Lucas," he would say softly, "not with your ears, but with your heart. Silence is not something to fear, it is a gateway to understanding." Day by day, Lucas began to settle into the practice. The moments of restlessness grew shorter, and he started to notice the subtle beauty around him that had always been drowned out by his constant chatter. One sunny day, as they sat together in their usual spot, something remarkable happened. The sun's warmth enveloped them, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves above, creating a soft, whispering sound. Lucas, for the first time, closed his eyes and truly listened. In the quiet, he heard the delicate melody of a distant bird singing its song. It was a sound he had never noticed before, despite its presence all along. The rustling of the leaves, which had always been there, now felt like nature's gentle whispers, speaking a language of peace and serenity. Lucas began to understand that there was a world of sound beyond his words, a world that had been hidden in the silence he had always ignored. This realization marked a turning point for Lucas. The silence he had once resisted now felt comforting, like a long-lost friend. He could feel the tension in his body easing, replaced by a calm he had never known. The endless stream of thoughts in his mind began to slow, and for the first time, Lucas experienced the true essence of silence. It was not empty or void, but full of life, brimming with the subtle, profound sounds of the world around him. Master Toao watched with a knowing smile as Lucas embraced this newfound understanding. The young man, who had once filled every moment with words, was now learning the language of silence, a language that spoke of peace, introspection, and connection with the deeper rhythms of life. As the days turned into months, a profound change began to take root within Lucas. The restless, talkative young man who once filled every silence with words was slowly transforming into someone wiser, more introspective. Through the patient guidance of Master Toao, Lucas had learned to appreciate the value of silence. He still spoke, but now his words were measured, thoughtful, and deliberate. The constant stream of chatter had given way to moments of quiet reflection, allowing him to choose his words with care and intention. This shift did not go unnoticed by the villagers. They marveled at the transformation in Lucas, who had become a living testament to the power of silence. His presence, once a source of noise, now brought a sense of calm and tranquility to those around him. The village, too, seemed to change as Lucas did. A newfound serenity settled over the entire community, as if the wisdom of silence had seeped into the very air they breathed. Lucas discovered that within the stillness, he could hear something he had never noticed before: his own heartbeat. It was a subtle, steady rhythm, a quiet reminder of his existence and his connection to the broader rhythm of life itself. This realization brought Lucas a deep sense of peace. He understood that in those moments of silence, he was not alone. He was in tune with the world around him, connected to a vast, unseen network of life that pulsed with every beat of his heart. The act of listening, once foreign to him, became a source of profound insight. By silencing his own voice, Lucas found that he could hear more than just sounds. He could sense the emotions, thoughts, and unspoken words of others. He noticed the subtle shifts in their expressions, the way their eyes softened with joy or tightened with worry. In this quiet observation, Lucas began to understand people on a deeper level, sensing the true meaning behind their words or lack thereof. Without the need for constant conversation, Lucas and Master Toao developed a new form of communication, one that transcended spoken language. They could sit together in complete silence and still understand each other perfectly. A glance, a slight nod, or a simple shared moment of stillness spoke volumes. Lucas realized that silence wasn't just the absence of noise. It was a gateway to a world rich with subtle wonders and meaningful connections. In the silence, he discovered a depth of experience that words could never fully capture. He found that by being present, by truly listening, he could form bonds with others that were far stronger than those forged through endless chatter. Lucas had learned to embrace the quiet, and in doing so, he had opened himself up to a world of understanding and connection that he had never imagined possible. The transformation within Lucas was nothing short of remarkable. The villagers, who had once seen him as a harmless chatterbox, now looked to him with respect and admiration. He had become a symbol of the wisdom that could be found in silence, and his journey inspired others to seek out moments of quiet in their own lives. The village, once filled with the constant hum of conversation, now had spaces of stillness where people could reflect, listen, and connect on a deeper level. Through the power of silence, Lucas had found his true self and had discovered a way to connect more meaningfully with the world around him. It was a lesson that would stay with him for the rest of his life, a lesson he was grateful to have learned under the patient and wise guidance of Master Toao. One evening, as the golden light of the setting sun bathed the village in a warm, tranquil glow, Master Toao called the villagers together for one final gathering. The air was still, and a sense of anticipation hung over the crowd as they assembled in the village square. Lucas, now standing among them, was a quiet presence, no longer the chatterbox he once was, but a thoughtful, reflective figure who had come to embody the very lessons Master Toao had imparted. Master Toao stood before them, his humble attire illuminated by the soft, fading light. He looked out at the villagers, his gaze filled with a deep, abiding kindness. When he spoke, his voice was calm, resonant, and carried the weight of profound wisdom. "My dear friends," he began, "I have taught you the art of silence and the wisdom it brings. Remember, silence is not merely the absence of words, but the presence of understanding. It is in the quiet moments that we truly hear, not just with our ears, but with our hearts." As Master Toa's words washed over them, the villagers felt a collective sense of peace. His teachings had already begun to take root in their lives, transforming the way they approached their daily interactions and their inner thoughts. The power of silence, once a foreign concept, had become a cherished practice, a way to find clarity, to connect more deeply with themselves and each other, and to discover the harmony that lay within. "Let silence guide your hearts and minds," Master Toao continued, his voice carrying the weight of a timeless truth, "and you will find harmony in all that you do. In silence, you will uncover the wisdom that lies within you, and in understanding, you will find peace." With these final words, Master Toao prepared to bid the village farewell. There was a gentle sadness in the air, but also a deep sense of gratitude. The villagers knew that they had been given a precious gift, one that would continue to guide them long after Master Toao had departed. They had learned that silence was not just a void to be filled, but a space to be honored and embraced, a gateway to understanding, and a path to inner peace. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the village in twilight, Master Toao took his leave. The villagers watched him go, their hearts full, knowing that they had been forever changed by his presence. Lucas, standing quietly among them, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He had journeyed from a life of endless chatter to one of thoughtful silence, and in doing so, had discovered a new depth of wisdom and connection. In the days that followed, the village continued to thrive, its people living in harmony with the lessons Master Toao had shared. Lucas, now a respected member of the community, became a living testament to the power of silence. He shared his journey with anyone who would listen, not through a torrent of words, but through quiet, meaningful conversations that resonated deeply with those who heard them. Lucas's story, once one of noise and distraction, had transformed into a tale of quiet strength and profound insight. His journey from a talkative youth to a wise, silent listener became a cherished part of the village's legacy, a reminder that true wisdom often resides not in the words we speak, but in the silence we embrace. And so, the village, guided by the lessons of Master Toao and inspired by Lucas's transformation, found a new rhythm, one marked by peace, understanding, and the quiet power of silence. In the end, Lucas's story became woven into the very fabric of the village's legacy. It served as a lasting reminder that true wisdom is often found not in the rush and noise of life, but in the quiet moments that allow us to connect with our deepest selves. The transformation that Lucas underwent, guided by the gentle wisdom of Master Toao, was a testament to the incredible power of silence to heal, to teach, and to bring harmony to our souls. Master Toa's teachings did not fade with time. Instead, they echoed through the village, becoming an enduring part of its culture. The lessons of silence and introspection, once foreign concepts, became cherished practices that the villagers carried with them in their daily lives. They learned to find peace in stillness, to listen more and speak less, and to appreciate the beauty and clarity that silence can bring. Lucas's journey was more than just a personal transformation. It was an invitation to all who heard it to embark on their own paths of self-discovery. His story encouraged everyone to pause, to embrace the silence, and to listen not just to the sounds of the world around them, but to the subtle whispers of their own hearts. In the quiet, they found space for reflection, for understanding, and for forging deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Through the power of silence, Lucas discovered a world of wonders that had always been there, just waiting to be noticed. He realized that in stillness, there was a depth of experience that words could never fully capture, a depth that connected him to the rhythm of life itself. This realization brought him a profound sense of peace, a peace that he carried with him and shared with others. As Lucas's story spread, it inspired those who heard it to seek out the same serenity and wisdom in their own lives. It became a timeless lesson, passed down from generation to generation, reminding everyone that the deepest peace and the most profound understanding often reside in the stillness of our being. Through the silence, they learn to discover themselves, to connect with others on a deeper level, and to experience the beauty of life in its most tranquil moments. In the end, Lucas's transformation was not just a personal victory, it was a gift to the entire village. It showed that by embracing silence and listening to the quiet voice within, we can find the strength, clarity, and harmony that our souls truly seek. The legacy of Lucas and Master Toao lived on, a beacon of wisdom and peace that continued to guide the village and all who heard their story toward a life of greater understanding and deeper connection.